Good morning. How are you this morning? Welcome back to my subscribers. It's good to see you here this glorious Friday morning. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I'm very pleased to see you here today, and I hope that you find something that you enjoy and you'll consider coming back. Okay, so my name's Sue, by the way, if you didn't know. And this is Crafting by the River. Okay, today what I'm going to do, and this might take a bit longer than my normal videos, but I've just printed out a whole load of new labels. As my regulars know, I have this book that I use that is full of labels, but it is full. And I was thinking I need something else, and I need something perhaps to split up the different makers. Keep the book for my bits, and then, you know, I have quite a few Tracie Fox labels. Perhaps keep hers separate. So this is where I'm up to so far, trimming them out, because I've done them quite small for this one. Okay, so what I thought I would do is use this book cover. As you can see, it's not particularly big. It's actually 6 1/4, and it's 6 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and I figure that that wouldn't be too bad. If I separate, I'll probably get a couple of creators in there. I'm thinking at the moment Tracie Fox and Pink Monarch, is it? I've got a few of her labels too, very pretty labels. So this is my book, and I'm going to cover it. And then what I want to do is add these. Now, I'm sorry if this is, don't know how the camera will handle this. And this is a folder, a bit like you see in the stamp albums. It has 4 rows to each side. So I've got 4 there, 8 there, and another 4. So that's what, 16? 16 rows. And what I've used, oops, just grabbing these bits from over here, I've used an A4 file folder, and I've cut 2 pieces that are 10 inches by 6 1/4. Okay, yep, 10 inches by 6 1/4. And as you can see, one edge is rounded. That's because that's how the folder came. You know, it comes with a rounded edges. But I'm going to leave that for now, because what I plan to do, if you see here, I've made a bit of a banner at the top so that I can write Tracie Fox labels or Pink Monarch labels, whatever, on there. So that's what I'm doing. And what we might do first, to try and get this, you know, in a reasonably good time frame, I'll probably, you know, explain things, do them, show them, and carry on. Okay, so as I said, I have cut my folder, and from one file folder I've got 2 pages, and that's not a bad start. Okay, you don't have to use file folder, you could use a heavier cardstock, up to you. I just have quite a few of these, and I also cut from the remainder, I cut 2 of these pockets that I want to put front and back in my little book, so that I can trim these sort of things down and pop them in there. Okay, so I'll put those to one side. Now, what I've used for these little sleeves is an A5 page protector. Okay, I got this at our local Officeworks. So it's an A5 and it's quite sturdy. You know, some of the cheaper ones are a bit flimsy and I'm not sure how well they would work, but this was perfect for me. And what I've done is I've trimmed off this edge here, trimmed off across the bottom close to that edge there to open it up fully. And I will go away and do that and show you what's next. Okay, so I've trimmed off the side and the bottom of my folder to open it up. Okay. And what that means then is we can just slip that over our piece of card and it covers the front and the back. Okay. Now, because of the size of my book, I've worked it out that I can get 4 sleeves along an open page. And to do that, I've measured. I've said, you know, this is the top and this is the bottom. I want to equally divide it to have 4 sleeves. But before I do that, I want to notch the top to give me this little tab. And for that, I use my envelope punch board. Excuse me. So here we are. The first one was done at 2 inches. So this one, I think I'll start at 3 inches. 3 inches and punch. Okay, and then I will move it along. I can't remember how much I did on that one, but 4.5 inches, say, and punch again. There we go. Get rid of those. And then what I want to do, this will be my tab. I want to get rid of both sides beyond that tab. So I'll line up my ruler and I use a craft knife. There's one. Oops. And there's the other one. Okay, so that gives me a tab. So they will sit in my folder like this. Okay, so now I've done that, this is, work out which is the top. This is the top. And what I want to do is measure, and I've worked it out that mine are around about 1.5 inches. So if I just use my pencil and mark 1.5 inches, 3 inches, 4.5 and 6 inches. Okay, and do the same down this side. And then I join up those marks. Just draw a faint line, it's just to help with the stitching. So it doesn't have to be too yeah, that's right. For a moment there I thought I'd done it the wrong way around, but I haven't. That's correct. Whoops, just drawn around my nail there. Oh dear. There we go. So now, when I put my plastic through, front and back, all I need to do is sew along these lines. And what I like to do, what I did with the other one, was I sewed a line and then trimmed with the scissors, then went back, sewed the next line, trimmed, sewed the next line, trimmed, and then did the last line. Okay, so I'll do the first one, I'll take it over to the machine and do it and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's the first line of stitching done. You can see it's caught that there, and by having it, you know, doubled over, it's also done the reverse. So they're the first ones. And then what I do is I take my small scissors, and really these are quite nice and fine. Embroidery scissors would be good too. And I literally just pop those in underneath that row of stitching. Don't get too close. And just cut that across. Oops. Okay, so then that is free again, ready to sew the next row. Don't forget though, because I did on the first one, you need to trim the back. Otherwise it's a bit tricky if you forget and have to go in once you've sewn the next row down. Okay, so then we go back and we sew the next row down, and we do the same, trim it, trim both sides, and then the next row down, trim it both sides, and then the last row. And of course the last row, all you need to do is stitch, you don't need to trim anything. And then once that's done, I stitch down both sides here to secure the ends, and I also stitched down the middle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and complete this, and I'll show you when I've finished. Okay, so that's all done. I hope you can see there I've stitched down both sides, securing the pockets. And they're clear. And I mean, it doesn't matter if this cut edge isn't particularly straight. The plastic is quite strong, and it will hold. Just going to grab a few. So it will hold these in quite nicely. Whoops. Here we go. I mean, you want just to be able to grab things, don't you? You don't want to be flapping around. I mean, I started with all mine in a box, but then I found that I was flapping around trying to find things all the time. So that holds them quite well. Right, so what I thought was, rather than stitch these in this one, I stitched the signatures in. I think this time I'm going to use elastic so that I can add to them, add pages as I need them. Okay, but before I can do that, I need to cover the book. But that's basically how it will work. All right, so push those to one side. I've got a couple of pieces of paper that I've printed. These are digitals. And I'm thinking this one for the outside and this one for the inside. And I know I've got a page there, I might take that out. And this on the inside, okay? Now, I'm sure you know how to do this, but just in case, I will go through it. Actually, that's a shame. How wide is that? That's the same. Okay, I've only got a little turn in here, but it should still work. Okay. I'm going to take this page out. I can use that for something else. Okay, so I've printed another piece, and what I've done is I've worked it so that I've got plenty of turn back here, and this side comes to the middle of the spine, and I'm going to use a piece of fabric to cover over the spine once this is done. Now, I also like to add some tape around the outside of the book, but I'm going to glue as well. And basically what we will do is turn this over, turn it back, like this, and turn this side in. Okay, so we'll crease it to start, and then we can trim off this corner. So we don't need all of that. Check it again. So this piece will get turned under, and this piece will come over. Okay. All right. Okay, so I've taken the backing off the double-sided tape, and I've added some art glitter glue. Now what I want to do is just position this onto my paper. Like so. Pressing it into the spine, the crease on the spine, giving it a good rub across. I could get the brayer out, I guess. Okay, so that is done. And then this is the second side, or the back. Fold it in this way, this way. Okay. Then we need to trim. Oopsie. Okay, we'll need more glue over here. I'm using my refill bottle. I'm too lazy to fill up the other one. Let's do that. And I've got a card here. Just Spread that over a bit. Okay. Flip that over. I realise I've got another. Just take that out. Down flat. I didn't get that one very straight. Never mind. Fabric will cover that. Okay. So now we'll glue around here. Oh. And I like to just put some glue down around here. Turn in, turn in. Turn in. Right, we need a bit of glue here. There. This is our fabric. It's my fingers, I think. Okay. Carry that one down. Okay, so then all we need to do is cover the front or the inside. Okay, so I've cut a strip of paper 1.5 inches for the spine and 2 at 5 inches. And I've glued this in and I've worked on it to try and get that nice and flat, pressing down into the spine. Okay, so now all that remains is to adhere the backing sheets. So let's go. I've also filled up my glue bottle so it won't be so messy. It was messy before, wasn't it? And great big lumps of glue everywhere. So this is a bit better. There we are. So that's our book covered. Now, what I want to do, here are my pages so far. Now I have a choice. I've got some elastic somewhere. Now we can just thread it through like so and tie it. Maybe have that on the inside. Oops. Or how else can we do it? I could punch some holes in here and have it coming through. Okay, so that's what I've decided. I punched a hole in one end and I've just gone about 1/4 inch into the middle of the spine, and we'll punch another one here. There we go. That's that. Now I've got some eyelets that will probably fit there. You don't have to put eyelets in, but I've got them and I think they'll fit, so why not? Let's just this end. Okay. There we go. So then we'll add our elastic. Where's that? Let's put a little half circle here. And maybe here too. Okay, so I've threaded my elastic through and I've just tied it in a bow on this side for the time being because I know I'm going to be adding more pages, but until I do, I'll keep it like this. Yeah. Okay, so they just slot in like this, and having those notches just makes it sit a bit better there. Okay, now to decorate the front. Decorate it how you like, really. I might have a little play with that and see what I can come up with. Okay, I hope you like that little project. Simple way of keeping your labels or stamps even would be good. Okay, all right, thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.